By the time you watch this video, you have probably heard about the game Valheim, and it came absolutely out of nowhere, but it has been dominating not only Steam charts, but YouTube, live streams, Let's Plays, everything. 3 million copies sold in less than a month, and 4 new Steam player count records. Obviously, Valheim is clearly here to stay, but if you're on the fence about it, well, let me help you. Welcome to Chaos Gaming. Today we're going to be looking at reasons why you should absolutely buy Valheim. Drop a like, make sure you have those notifications turned on, and you share this page around, and let's start off with the setting. The first thing that actually caught my attention about the game was the setting. It's set during the Viking times, which is it's automatically cool, and it details all based around Norse mythology. The whole point of the game is try and survive an infinite purgatory by building a home and fending off both the elements and creatures who actually want you dead. Yep. How many great Viking games can you guys think of? Maybe 2? Maybe 3? I don't know. You let me know what they are in the comment section. It's hard to make a good Viking game because it's just an awkward time period to make good gameplay. But with Valheim, they pulled it off with flying colors. The setting is awesome, and the general vibe of the game is as cool as Odin's beard. Yep, I made a joke there. This is definitely going to be one of the best Viking games ever made. The next big thing is co-op. Nobody talks about co-op anymore. Now, Valheim can be played solo, but it shines in co-op. Lobbies can be up to 10 players, and since everything is procedurally generated, you never know what you and your buddies are going to go up against. Teamwork and communication is a massive tool for success in this game. So, what stuff can you actually do in co-op with your friends? What are you building? How are you going to survive the night? Do you have any weapons? Are you prepared to fight? Valheim is a game truly best enjoyed with friends. Maybe get in a Discord group, and you'll get a kick out of how much there is for you and your buddies to explore. Now, it seems like co-op games have kind of been on the decline in the recent years. So for me, it's refreshing to see a game like this that embraces co-op as a core mechanic. And hopefully, this inspires other developers to get back on the co-op train. Next up, you can't go wrong with mods. Despite only being out for a few weeks, Valheim already has a thriving modding community. That's usually a very good sign for a new game. Mods do amazing things for games' lifespan. There's already a bunch of great mods you can mess around with right now. There's the basic survival game mods. You have loot multipliers, bigger item stacks, and improved building. But there's bigger ones like the very popular Valheim Plus mod, which is a huge overhaul mod that makes a ton of quality of life improvements and several new features. It already has a modding community. It's only a few weeks into its official launch. I mean, the base game has a ton of replay value on its own, but once you start adding mods, it's going to get crazy, and it's going to be even more replayable. This is why GTA Online is so big, or GTA 5 as well. If you could keep coming back and getting new experiences, that's a win. Let's talk about the performance. Valheim is not a very difficult game to run, which is a very, very nice selling point. According to Steam, the game only requires 1 gigabyte of space, 8 gigs of RAM, and a rather old graphics card. Now, it may not be super nice looking on the surface, but the positive aspect of that is the fact it's not hard to run the game for your computer, meaning all your buddies can get together in a party with no issues. Many of the popular games in the world aren't very demanding. Minecraft, League of Legends, CSGO, there's a reason, there's a formula there. Now, Valheim may not benefit from nicer visuals, but the current state of the game is super easy to run, which is going to bring a lot of extra people into the experience, which is a plus. And it's only a matter of time before the insane graphical mods probably start coming out. They're probably already there. I just couldn't find them. And I'm not saying the game's ugly at all, because it's not. Let's keep on that train. Accessibility. So speaking of performance, Valheim is a very accessible game, which is also going to bring in a lot of new players into the mix. Now, aside from the fact that it's very easy to run, it also has great control options that most other PC games do. You can customize your controls, you can do what you want. The game has 11 supported languages plus another 13 languages that have been made by the community. That's right, the Valheim community has translated this game into an additional 13 languages on top of the 11 that the devs did. I mean, that's crazy. It's an incredibly accessible game regardless of your computer, regardless of your language, regardless of what controls you want to use. You name it, it's there. The devs really want everybody to play the game, and I think they're doing a good job. The next huge thing why you need to buy this game is hunger does not kill you. Now, this sounds like a very specific thing when you look at other survival games. It's a big one. In other survival games, your hunger and thirst are some of the most annoying parts of the entire game because it's often a giant random pace killer and you don't always have the resources to keep it from happening. It's cool to start with, and then it gets annoying. But things are different in Valheim. Hunger and thirst still exist, but they do not kill you. Staying on top of your food will simply give you some health and stamina benefits instead of just flat out killing you if you don't stay on top of it. To me, this is the perfect solution to the hunger annoyance problems that a lot of other survival games have, which is a good thing. So if you're someone who's often turned off by survival games because of the food mechanics, fear not, my friends. Valheim doesn't have them and probably doesn't want them either. Yeah. Next up, dedicated server rentals. One of the best parts of PC games is the possibility of getting your own dedicated server, and Valheim has full support. Aside from the fact that the game has dedicated servers itself, you can actually drop some extra coin and have your own server where you make all the rules, you control who joins, it's your universe. You and your friends can all pitch in and get your own server just for you guys and make it exactly how you want. Now, there's quite a few different places offering server rentals for Valheim, so if you really want to be a master of your own domain, you can do it. Now, if you're not a regular PC player, you probably don't get the hype around renting a server, but if you are PC, you know and you're thinking about renting your own Valheim server and making it your own. How about some opt-in PvP? Yeah, a lot of people don't like PvP aspects of survival games, and I see that. When you're running around an open world, trying to find food and shelter, and then all of a sudden you get ran into by another human player who randomly kills you, takes all your stuff, and runs off, completely ending your run and destroying your progress. Thankfully, PvP is an opt-in in Valheim, meaning if you don't want to deal with other players, you don't have to. It also means trolling is a lot less common in the game than in other survival games like Rust or DayZ, where the trolls are absolutely everywhere. They can completely destroy the experience for you. And speaking of which, the community. Yes, sir. The Valheim community right now is awesome. Maybe it's because the game is new. Maybe it's fresh. Maybe it's because the trolls haven't gotten here yet. But right now, jump in because it's awesome. Everybody's friendly. They're all just trying to learn the game and get to know everything better while also bringing new players into that experience. Now, it's an awesome time, and usually a game's community in the early months can predict how it's going to be in the future. Well, if Valheim's community sticks with this pace and this road, it could remain one of the best in gaming. And speaking of awesome people, let's end it with this. The devs. The developers of Valheim are cool. And they're very clearly committed to the game and keeping it fresh and exciting, but they're also committed to keeping things clean and working as intended. Now, despite the fact that Valheim is barely a month old, there have already been quite a few patches and updates to keep that experience nice and smooth, and they have a ton of plans for future content patches. The developer is Irongate, and the publisher is Coffee Stain, both of which are smaller, more community-driven studios, and you can see that. When you have a community-driven developer and a community-driven publisher working together, you are going to get magic, my friends, and Valheim is in a great state. I'm confident that it's going to remain that way because it's in the hands of an incredibly passionate team who are constantly listening to the community and making sure they do what you want. I wouldn't have it any other way. I think some AAA studios could take from this in a big, big way, but that's a video for another day. And there you have it, my friends. Those are reasons you should consider buying Valheim. Let me know if you've already got it, what you think of it. If you haven't gotten it, did this video convince you to give it a try? No, this is not sponsored. I just think the game is really cool. I'll see you guys soon.